Roll call.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Here.
Freeholder Felice.
Present.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Here.
Freeholder Tonelli is absent. Freeholder Zor.
Here.
And Chairwoman Boss.
Here. Would you please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Powers, would you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing so that we can observe a moment of silence. Former Oakland Councilman James McCauley has died recently. Mr. McCauley spent 49 years in Oakland as a member of various borough boards, committee, and civic organizations. He served as a councilman for 6 years and on the Oakland Board of Education for 18 years. And can we also observe a moment of silence for freeholder Stephen Tonelli's mother-in-law, Elizabeth Roselli, who passed away today. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. Amen.
Amen.
Will the clerk please read the minutes to be accepted?
March 11th, 2015, public session, all present. March 18th, 2015, work session, all present. March 25th, 2015, work session, all present.
Move the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now may I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We will now have the hearing for the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time is up or has expired, the speaker will be told his time has expired. Please fill out a card with your name and the general topic so we can keep a good flow. Mr. Powers.
Chuck Powers, TNEC. Let me say specifically to the county executive what I told this freeholder board last time. We are enormously impressed with what you've done with the idea of a inspector general in your law office. We think it is an important step forward to making sure that we are enforcing all those things that you were part of helping put in place as well as the rest of the board. I want to draw your attention to a meeting that we're having next Monday. We're asking the Riverkeeper to come to our Bergen grassroots meeting at the Ethical Culture Society to talk about his proposal that all the Hackensack riverine system up to the Oradell Dam become a Superfund site. As many of you who have known the work on the Passaic know, a Superfund site is no walk in the park. On the other hand, the issues associated with the long-term, long-delayed cleanup of the Hackensack and trying to figure out ways in which mitigation of contamination at the same time you're taking the appropriate action to resolve both short and long-term the issues associated with flooding is an enormously complex problem, and the Riverkeeper is extremely effective in thinking about those questions. But we want to have a broader group of people, public officials at all levels. We think there'll be state legislative people there. We're hoping that Freeholder Tonelli will be able to, but we'd love every one of you to be there at that meeting because we think it is about as complex a problem, a new way of thinking about riverine systems. I live with those issues in my professional career. Complex Superfund issues related to Clean Water Act and other such laws, and trying to figure out how you bring those together to accomplish multiple purposes, both short and long term, is fundamental, and we think that having the Riverkeeper give us his wisdom and then have public officials and others respond to that will be an important way to open up the public dialogue about that. Monday night, 7:30, the Ethical Culture Society. We hope that you can all be there. Thank you.
Monday the 13th, Chuck?
13th, yes. Right, Tracy.
Paul Nichols.
Good evening.
Hi, Paul.
Good to see you all. I've been given these cards, and the drug discount cards, and they're actually really good. I'm not going to gonna get into all my problems, why I had to use it, because, I mean, it's been very stressful lately, and the doctor gave me a medication, and it was supposed to be prescription, but it turned out to be over the counter, and I actually used the card, and it would have been $60. It came out to $9 and change. So I've been giving these cards out to everybody, and as you all know, I do a community resource guide, which I give everybody, and they're in many libraries and everything. And this is a prototype. I'm not fully done with it yet, but I've done it before, and I'm going to put this card in there, and all the organizations that I volunteer for, I put in there. And thank you, Mr. Gans, for making me aware of these cards, because it's helped me. I've passed around a lot of them, so that's basically all I'm going to say tonight. Thank you, and good to see you, Mr. Tedesco. Thank you. All of you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks.
Mr. Nix.
Next, Hackensack. I've been talking about cleaning up the Hackensack River for years. I was down at the Meadowlands meeting the other day. They're starting to build more residential units down in Lyndhurst and get rid of the warehouse. Unfortunately, we've been down the wrong road for the last 50 years in the Meadowlands. And like the gentleman before, I've been working on the Hackensack River walkway, and just built the Court Street Bridge. It doesn't open for boat traffic. It only opens to when they want to fix it. Somehow that bridge, $13 million bridge, is got to be open for boat traffic. They're talking about doing the Midtown Bridge. I'm dying to see how that works out. They got the railroad bridge, New York Susquehanna. I talked to him, Mr. Fennell in Cooperstown. I haven't said nothing about the bridge, but that's got to be changed. And then you have the Anderson Street Bridge that's in dire shape. It should never have been built that way. Then you got the Fairleigh Dickinson Bridge, pedestrian bridge. I don't know how that ever got built. Then you have the bridge that saved the nation by the Van Steuben House that's in dire repair and should be fixed. And we got to get back to federal regulations, swimmable, fishable, and navigable. It's 2015. When I was a kid, I worked construction on the walkway in Paramus. When I came back from the service, Saigon University. And since I came back, this country's been in a shambles. And it's not the people, it's the politicians. And we got another guy, he's looking to go to the Slammer, Mendez, and I hope he does. And hopefully that'll be it for a while. I'm working on the New York Susquehanna Railroad from Hawthorne through the Edgewater Tunnel. It can be done. It's got to be worked out with the billion-dollar light rail from 50th Street, North Bergen, to Englewood Hospital. You got to bring things together. You can't keep doing things like we've been doing for 50 years. There's a way to do it. There's a way to run the DMU to Englewood Hospital, to the Fort Lee Project, and across the George Washington Bridge. I have it basically figured out, and I'm nobody. It can be done. You have to do, and it can be paid for without taxpayers' money.
It's 3 minutes, Chairwoman.
There's a lot of stuff in River Edge, Oradell, without all this Superfund sites that should be cleaned up.
That's
Let
3
it
minutes.
grow on Cold Brook
Mr. Nix.
and
Mr. Nix.
a whole bunch of other stuff. I got this Tiffany's is selling watches. So maybe we could invest in a couple $1,000 so everybody, and give them out to the local towns so we can enforce the 3-minute rule. Because that seems to be the most important thing that this board is involved with. And I'm serious. That 3-minute rule stinks to high heaven. When you got people that come from all over the county to talk down here for 180 seconds, it's not my America. It's not nothing I go across the seas and fight for. I'm thoroughly pissed off at that 3-minute rule, more than anything else. Because that opens you guys a whole can of worms that you don't care what the public has to say. And that's been proved for the last 50 years. Politics are no good.
Joe Dunsey.
Hi. Today I'd like to talk about bicycles and the Hudson River walkway. To segue into that, I'm going to read a couple of facts from the post I made today. Get off Facebook, bike to the grocery store, and have some chocolate. Biking is a good source of exercise, and among other benefits, exercise combats depression. It also improves self-esteem and has well-known physical health benefits in the long term. In the short term, exercise causes the body to release endorphins that elevate one's mood, relieve pain, and relax the mind. In addition to managing depression, exercise lessens anxiety, reduces stress, and helps one sleep. So biking to the store is a great way to improve someone's mental health. Worldwide, biking is the most popular mode of transportation. In a typical year, 133 million bikes are made to meet this demand. That's twice the number of cars that are made and 5 times the number of bikes that were made half a century ago. So I think having bike paths like the Hudson River Walkway would be very good for the citizens of Bergen County. I know currently there's a stretch extending from Johnson Park near the Sears all the way to Route 4. And I'd very much like to see it extended to the park behind the Riverside Square Mall and then all the way to the Von Steuben House. This would connect residents in Hackensack with the cultural amenities at the Von Steuben House and the downtown there that River Edge is trying to attract people to. And it would also mean that River Edge residents could bike to downtown Hackensack faster than they drive because they wouldn't be stuck at traffic lights. So I'd very much like to see this happen. And in case you're interested about the rest of the blog, I printed it out and I'll give it to you to read at your leisure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak? If not, may I have a
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, will the clerk please read the
12
resolution?
minutes, public question. Put it on the record.
Will the
12
clerk
minutes.
please read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
Resolutions 271-15 through 275-15, Resolutions 277-15 through 294-15, and 296-15 through 330-15.
Move the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Freeholder Di Nicola?
Yes.
Freeholder Felice?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans?
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan?
Yes.
Freeholder Tenelli is absent. Freeholder Zor?
Yes.
Chairwoman Voss?
Yes. Are there any resolutions of non-consent pulled or tabled? If so, will the clerk please read them?
2 resolutions pulled are Resolution 276-15 and 295-15.
I don't need any more. Okay, we'll now have committee reports, and again, please let me admonish, since we put a 3-minute time limit on our public, let us put a 5-minute time limit on our freeholders. So, Freeholder Di Nicola, would you like to begin?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Of all of the events and programs that we've gone to in the last several weeks, I wanted to focus on 2. One that you attended with me, and that was at the Boys and Girls Club of Garfield. They opened their newly renovated teen center, and they used money from the Snowflake Foundation, which is the foundation that was created during the 2014 Super Bowl in order to distribute monies to deserving organizations and nonprofits around our area. And also, they finished the project with a $40,000 grant from PSE&G. They did a tremendous job. Chairwoman Voss will tell you she and I wanted to stay, despite how loud the music was. But it was a perfect example of a cooperative effort in truly creating safe spaces for children who really need those spaces after school. And while they promised us they'd be doing equally, or they'd have an equal amount of time focused on homework, although I'm not so sure that's going to happen, as the fun and games, it was a great facility with Wi-Fi, movies, live music, games, things that kids should be involved in instead of what we're fighting, especially with the heroin epidemic throughout the county. The second was yesterday, and that was the opening of the New York, New Jersey Trails Conference headquarters. What they did was completely renovate and add an addition onto the old Darlington Schoolhouse on Route 202. This is an historic structure that had been vacant for 40 years and was just rotting away. They were successful in getting grant funding from the state and also from Bergen County through Open Space and our Historic and Cultural Preservation Committee, and a number of foundation members who solicited everyone. All told, the project was about $5 million, $3 million in the renovation, $2 million in completely private funds for the addition, because grant funding wouldn't cover any new construction, and it was incredibly done. There's not an office, there's not a window that doesn't have a beautiful view of the Ramapo Mountains there. It's something that I encourage everyone to experience, to go up there, to get maps of all of the trails in our area. It's truly a gem that isn't used enough in Bergen County and needs to be supported by everyone. Route 202 there, if you don't know, was a part of the Cannonball Run. Our county is chock full of history, and when it's a part of our everyday experience, it becomes that much richer. I also want to follow up on Meals on Wheels. Last Friday, I went on my tour with Kennedy, and this is our Meals on Wheels service through community transportation. I first had a meeting with our new community transportation director, Tom Murphy, very productive, a very experienced gentleman who has been here before. And then we were off. My aide, John, came with me to 60 stops in Ridgefield, Fairview, and Cliffside Park. And it was eye-opening. First of all, I can't say enough about Kennedy as one of our employees.
Nor can I.
His interaction with all of the clients, in addition to his knowledge of the roadways, because there were a good number of detours that we encountered along the way. But you really got to see up close and personally how important a service like this is to so many of our citizens in Bergen County. The majority of them were senior citizens. There were a number of citizens with disabilities. We came away with a long list of questions, issues, things to follow up on, because so many of these people were really so desperately in need. And one of the most difficult things to see was, while we were helping them by providing meals, many of them were so lonely. And I'm sorry, I know, I'll wrap up. I'll just say that was great. The last thing I wanted to mention was that April is the month of the military child, and while we didn't have a resolution on our agenda, so important to remember military families. They really serve while their service members are deployed and working for us in this country. Deployments have all been extended. Hope to see my son soon, but his deployment as well was extended. A lot of bad things happening in the world. We need to support all of them. And thank you. Sorry.
Freeholder Felice.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. One of the biggest responsibilities of a freeholder is to review the budget and pass the budget. And I look forward to the county executive in due time provide that ability for us to do our legislative responsibilities. I look forward to that. I look forward to working with each and every one of us on this body, as well as the employees of Bergen County, to put together a budget that is both looking out for the interests of the people that need help the most and for the taxpayer. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Freeholder Sullivan.
Hello, good evening. I'd just like to tell you a few events that I attended throughout the last few weeks. Well, a few Saturdays back, Chairwoman Voss and I attended the Greek Independence Day celebration. It was wonderful. The proclamations were given by myself and Freeholder Voss. Also, in Maywood, we went to the seniors fish fry and to serve fish and chips to the members. That was an experience. I attended the Lodi Moose Lodge Pancake Breakfast. That raises money for local charities. We also attended the I can't say this. Thanks, David. Matzah ceremony in Fairlawn, and which is they handed out matzahs that came right from Israel, which was fantastic. And also had a meeting with Ellen Elias from the Children's Aid. We talked about education for children with alcohol and drug awareness. It was very productive. I know some of the freeholders have also met with her. It's good to see that we are making sure we take care of our young and educating them, hopefully to get them before, like Freeholder Giannicola said, the epidemic. And I think that's very productive, and I'll be attending some more of her meetings and working with the Municipal Alliance for that. And lastly, I just hope everyone had a happy Easter and Passover. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Zer.
Thank you. I am one of the hats that I wear on this board is the liaison to the Bergen County Utilities Authority. And many people don't know what the Utilities Authority does as an independent authority. Not only does it treat all of the sewage and the waste that happens when you flush, but they also engage in some really wonderful programs that are focused on reduce, reuse, recycle, and they just received the WAVE Award from the Association of Environmental Authorities for their public education programs, and that covers all their different topics like wastewater treatment, solid waste treatment, and recycling. There are many recycling dates that I encourage you to go on their website and find, because they are going to be doing solid waste, hazardous waste recycling, as well as things such as tires and other things. As we engage in our spring cleaning, you should be mindful of those dates that are posted on the website. Will also be posted on my Freeholder Facebook page. Additionally, last week I should say, we attended the Community Action Program, the CAP Gala, which was a wonderful celebration of Louise Braithwaite and her legacy that she left to that organization. The CAP focuses on programs such as Head Start, but also on revitalization of different projects in Hackensack and Garfield, and so much else that really touch at the core of what we're about, is providing human services within the county. As we passed this evening, Resolution 330-12, focusing on April being Autism Awareness Month, I wanted to talk briefly about some of the things that, in New Jersey, the statistic was changed now to 1 in 45 individuals are being diagnosed with autism. And this is the fastest growing developmental disability, and it impacts so many different families in Bergen County. And this is really an opportunity for us not only to bring light and focus on the affliction, but also to say thank you to so many who are on the front lines dealing with this. Temple Grandin, who was the focus of an HBO special, has a famous quote where she says, there needs to be a lot more emphasis on what a child can do instead of what a child cannot do. There are so many in this county who are focused on that, and so many educators in our school systems. There are so many therapists, ABA therapists, individuals who are working hard on the housing front, on the transportation front, touching on so many different areas of disabilities. And also, what really the unsung heroes are the parents who are on the front lines dealing with the challenges of autism every single day. And so as we look at April and we applaud those who we need to take a moment to applaud those who are really making Herculean strides to try and deal with the challenges every day and find long-term solutions for how we deal with this going forward. I also just wanted to mention that I had the privilege this week also of attending a Hats for Hope event where our Freeholder chairwoman Voss was honored, and also meeting with John Boswick of ITN in North Jersey, who is launching a different transportation system, which I think is going to be very interesting to see how we integrate that into community transportation as well, meeting needs of seniors and those with disabilities as they try and become transported to and from work and their other needs. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Gans.
I'm going to be very short and very sweet. We already had an explanation of how Bergen Wellness works.
Very good.
We encourage you all to do it, and here's how you can get your own card, usable in 55,000 pharmacies across the United States. I have a cold, and it's painful to speak and probably painful to listen to, so thank you. That concludes my remarks for this evening.
Thank you. I just have a few remarks. This, as Freeholder Zura said, is Autism Awareness Month. And the statistics are incredible. 1 in 68 in the United States is on the spectrum, but New Jersey, we have the highest rate. And one of the things that I find very disturbing is that billions of dollars are spent in getting therapies and assistance for the people who are on the spectrum. But less than 5% of all the money spent is done on what causes this. No doctors know. It could be partially genetic and partially environmental, which I am very sure that is a very big contributing factor to this. But this is becoming almost epidemic in the United States and worldwide, actually. So we really need to do. I was very proud that the Bergen Record came up with a page for children talking about autism, and many of the kids who are on the spectrum are bullied terribly, and so this is one of the things that we want teachers to be aware of and kids to be aware of, because it's really not fair. This morning I met with a group from Seoul, Korea, along with Freeholder Felice, and they were very impressed with our form of government, and we took them on a tour of the building, and they met with the county executive, and it was a very nice, we had a question and answer period, and having visited Korea and been to many of their cities, they would like to replicate in many instances the kind of government that we have here. One of the things that's, we have a great homeless shelter here in Hackensack. And many organizations, including some of the organizations I belong to, volunteer to feed the homeless. And I have to tell you, first of all, the number of people who need assistance is overwhelming. But they are so appreciative and so anything. I think, Tracy, your synagogue does that as well. And, the best thing we can do in life is to help those who are less fortunate than we. I was very honored to be honored by Hats for Hope in Patterson, and Benji Wimbley, who's the assemblyman from that district, was the master of ceremonies, and recognizing women who have made contributions. And I also have to go along with Freeholder Di Nicola. I've represented Lodi for many, many years in various capacities, and that Boys and Girls Club is a lifesaver. And I've been there they've been flooded out several times, and they've always come back bigger and better. And this teen center is just going to be wonderful for these kids, because as Freeholder Di Nicola said, we have to keep them away from the drugs and the things that are becoming so prevalent up here. And Greek Independence Day was great. We had several hundred people there, and we have to say thank you to the Greeks because they've given us so many great gifts. And one last thing, One of my favorite places to visit, because it makes you realize how lucky you are, is the Bleshman Center up in Paramus. It's a school for severely disabled children. But as Temple Grandin said, don't focus on what they cannot do, focus on what they can do. And I think these are for sale, are they not?
Yes.
Yes.
This
right.
is stationery that these children who are severely handicapped make. And I wish everybody in the county would buy them because they are wonderful, they're talented children, and you do a great thing for the school and for their self-confidence. And with that, I thank you, and we're very honored this evening to have our county executive. And County Executive, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you. I'm actually filling in for the administrator. He had a death to his one of his closest friends, and he's asked that he be excused tonight to attend the family. And so if I had a deputy administrator, that person would be here, but I don't have one, so I'm here.
Hint, 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 hint.
That'll be on the front page
Are you
tomorrow.
proposing a solution?
So, just a couple quick things, not to prolong the meeting. We are finalizing the budget, and we did talk to the freeholder chair, and I hope that we've got a date that will work for the freeholder board and for the administration to present the budget. And then freeholder Felice is going to then start the process, and anything that you need from the administration, we'll be more than glad to supply it. And even if I have to sit there and represent the administration, I'll gladly do that. Many people have been asking about appointments to boards and committees. And I just wanted to let everybody know that that will take place very shortly, the process of filling those positions. Part of what we were obligated to do and gladly do was follow a resolution that the freeholders passed in regards to advertising all of the boards and commissions so that anyone in Bergen County could apply and either through the internet or send it into the county. And so that was a 30-day process. So we had to wait for that 30-day process to end before we actually start to put names to the positions. And we are actually looking at some of the boards and commissions that are there. Some of them have been out there for a long, long time. Some of them haven't had people named to them going back into the 2000s. And so we will, though, for the boards that are very critical for the operation of government, we will start to put those names forward. The ones that we have to bring forward to the board, we will do those quickly. The other ones that are the executive appointments, I will make those. And the last one that I know a lot of people are interested about, and it's something that we need to continually move quickly, is on the Bergen Regional Medical Center. You all know that my position was that we will continue to operate that as a facility for Bergen County, and we've now come up with the structure for the committee, and I will be presenting that to the freeholder board. It will be done by executive order, but I want to give you all the opportunity to look at it first and to have a quick input, and then I will do that by executive order, and we will start the process of looking at how we are going to run and manage Bergen Regional Medical Center after March of 2017 when the contract expires. So, freeholder, thank you.
I want to thank the two young gentlemen who are manning the cameras this evening for your service. We appreciate it very much. And you're from Bergen Technical School? Yes. And so thank you again very much. And there being no further business to come.
May I offer one brief comment?
Yes, you may.
I just want to say how impressed I am that the county executive continues to attend our freeholder meetings on a regular basis. Not every meeting, but he's here. He is open to ideas. He's open to new solutions, and this is a very refreshing change. Thank you.
I think we all agree. And therefore, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, adjourned.